History and Status of School Health Program in Pakistan. Historically, various elements of school health program have been delivered in Pakistan in a fragmented manner. That means that these programs were in place in Pakistan, but unfortunately they were not continuous. There were some breaks in the programs. In the early 70s, school health services remained a component of health service delivery. So there was a system of health service in Pakistan in 1970s, and also there was a system of health programs which were being delivered in different areas of Pakistan. During 1980s, some form of school health program was started with focus on health screening, etc. So in 90s, 80s, again, there was some project running in which health screening became the focus on the program. And medical doctors were specifically appointed for this purpose at the grassroots level. So this project was held at the grassroots level, and wherever there were problems that there was no health screening being done, it was being done by those doctors who were newly appointed for the purpose of doing the health screening of the citizens of Pakistan, especially in those areas where doctors were not available. The doctors were selected and posted in those areas so that health service becomes popular and common for those areas which have been neglected. So this was happening during 1980s, that the school health program was running in order to provide medical health screening for all the members of the society. In most of the cases, medical doctors avoided going to rural areas. Now, these doctors were actually selected in order to run this health screening, and provide service of health facilities to rural areas where these services were not available. This was done in 1980s, but the doctors were reluctant to work in rural areas, and an effective system of monitoring of their attendance could not be evolved. So there were clinics, but then there were medical health units available, but the doctors were not attending those medical health units. So that means again the rural areas were neglected because the doctors did not want to work in those rural areas because they did not have the convenient facilities of reaching or living in those rural areas. Resultantly, this initiative could not succeed in achieving desired results, as was discontinued. So again, first we had it in 1970s and it was discontinued. Then the health screening started in 1980s. The doctors were selected and sent to the rural areas, but it was not very easy for the doctors to settle in the rural areas or travel that distance because there was no convenient transport available for that. So there was no effective system in place to monitor whether the doctors were attending those clinics and health units or not. And therefore this thing also dropped off and there was no result achieved out of it, and thus this practice was again stopped. And there was again the rural area being neglected without any service of health or any medical screening to find out if the people were suffering from any disease or to get an indication of the symptoms of any disease that was to be spread. So the rural areas again once fell into the same ditch where they were not able to have the medical services available for them for treatment and diagnosis. Recently, school health program was launched in Punjab by Punjab Health Sector Reforms called PHSRP and National Commission for Human Development. So the recent program that was done after 2003 was a program that was launched by Punjab Health Sector Reform Program and the National Commission for Human Development. So this was the history of the health services being provided in a fragmented way in Pakistan by different organizations and setups but every time, due to some reason or the other, these programs were not successful and thus they had to face failure.